Hello, my name is Carlos Erban, and today I'm going to talk to you about doing off-camera flash with three different modifiers: a bounce umbrella, a shoot-through umbrella, and a softbox. These are basically made by Apollo Westcott or Westcott Apollo. An umbrella you can get anywhere. It doesn't have to be the Westcott Apollo. I mean, this is just a regular conventional umbrella with a black cover, and this is the Apollo Westcott. Is unique in that it's an umbrella. It opens like an umbrella, and you just put it into the stand. The other thing that I used today, I also used a snood in order to get a hair light. In this case, I used a Gary Fong snood that I have, an old one. Now, I'm not suggesting that you need to get a Gary Fong snood. As a matter of fact, there are some, they call them the flash bender. It has a Velcro and you can just wrap it around. Or if you go to a camera store or a lighting store, they have a lot of different options to do that. And what a snood is basically to direct the light, very pointed to very specific area that you're trying to get. In this particular case, it was for my hair because I wanted separation from the background. We're going to take advantage of this video also to talk about a little bit more about shooting manual and what I like to do. I like to use the mini and flex system because it happened to me before when I didn't have it. And by the way, it doesn't have to be pocket whizzer. I mean, what I'm saying is that it's better to do radio, because when I put the flashes inside of soft boxes, it was difficult sometimes with the light of sight to get it to work wirelessly. So I didn't want to be guessing. I mean, when you have a softbox, it's close, obviously. Sometimes I had two flashes when I was shooting outdoors, and I was always guessing if they were triggering or not. So that's why I decided to buy the mini and the flex, and I'm very happy with it. So let's talk a little bit about the snood setup. And the reason why I want to talk about this is usually you put it high up top, and you can put it at an angle, or you can put it wherever you want, depending where you want the light to be. But one thing, piece of advice: if you have a big flash and you put it on a flex, make sure you have a strong bracket. This bracket is made by Lastolite, but Manfrotto makes really good brackets too. Just make sure you have it on a strong bracket, because I had this flash with the flex fall on the floor, and it was not a pretty sight. I mean, it was very scary. I thought it broke. The flex did open apart, but thankfully I was able to reassemble it and it didn't break. But I'm just telling you this in advance, because the other thing, you see how I screw it on instead of putting it in the hot shoe? This hot shoe is made of plastic. So when you have a very heavy flash like that, it did happen to me that I broke the hot shoe once. So just, some little piece of advice here and there. Then for the people that have the flex, some of the settings that I do, in order for the pocket whizzers, mini and flex to communicate, you have to put the flash on TTL. I have a whole other video which you can see in another, in the same channel, that talks about all the settings. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. My key light or main light at its call, I always put it in group A, my field light in group C, and my hair light or kicker in group C. That basically allows me to always keep consistency and not be confused which group I put which light. So here you see it's on TTL. Now when I'm shooting manual, and most of the time I shoot manual, I would say the only time I shoot TTL is only if I have moving subjects and I cannot set up my subject the way I want it. But when I'm shooting manual, I make decisions of what I want to shoot at. So here I wanted to get a little shallow depth of field to blur a little bit of the background, so I decided to go to 5.6. Now 1/25 shutter speed is so that the ambient light or any lights that I had turned on would not affect my exposure. So when you're going to 1/25 of a second or higher, typically that eliminates all the ambient light. So basically, you know, the lights that are controlling everything, your exposure, are your flash. Here you can see this 100% ratio basically means that 100% of the light is coming from my flash. Nothing is coming from the ambient light. Okay, then well, here's my AC3, and I have to make adjustments to the speed light so that I can get 5.6 on my main light. Oh, by the way, on my hair light, I like to have it one stop higher. So that means from 5.6 it means 8. And you know, this is kind of the language that is used in lighting, but 8 basically means that it's one stop brighter. And by saying, you're probably thinking, how can it be brighter if you're going one stop? You know, you're basically going one stop over instead of under. Well, what happens is you need more light to get the same exposure, so that's why you put it to 8. This is not intended to be a class on light meters and light, but I mean on how to read the different stops. Just whenever you want more light or brighter light, then you go one stop over, meaning 8, or you know, one stop over 5.6. In this particular case, it's 8. Okay, so let's keep on going. I don't want to get too hung up on this. So then when I get I basically, my camera is in manual, so I just put it on 1/25, 5.6, ISO 100. Well, we'll talk a little bit about the white balance later. Well, and obviously single point focus, and you know, I'm shooting raw. So the first thing I do is when I'm doing hair light or a kicker, that's the first thing that I set up. So here I'm exposing, you know, for f8, okay. Actually, this says 5.6, but this was, I metered this. Oh, because this is the picture I was taking with the other camera, but I metered this at 8. So typically that's what the common practice is, to put the light a little higher, but it's a matter of taste. By the way, I did not want the light to hit here over the eyebrow and here in the ear. I wanted it here on the hair. So this is one of the disadvantages of self-portrait, that I cannot keep adjusting and seeing myself. But you know, that's one of the things that you need to correct when you're shooting your hair light. Then the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the, you know, the color checker. Sorry, I blanked out. The color checker here, you basically, when you have the right exposure, you have here your 18% gray, okay, and here is a little bit warmer, which is what I like, and then you can sync all of your photos with the same, you know, with the same white balance. Okay, this is the position of Lightmeter. You want to make sure that, you know, that it is really going with your main light and not with your hair light. You should put it here, but then you can measure different things. Like when I was measuring the hair light, I was actually facing towards that light. I turned off the other light, and that's how I was measuring that. Okay, so so this is the first shot that I did, and you probably don't remember what was the first setup. The first setup was this one. So bouncing flash from the, you know, with the Speedlight, 45 degrees. By the way, I did have some reflectors ready that I was going to set up in case I needed field light on the other side, but given that, you know, for men you don't want lights so even, then I really didn't use it. So that was the first setup with the bouncing flash from the umbrella, and as you can see, it's very soft, very even light, with the exception here, this is my hair light. But if you see this part, right, you can see that it's very even. Okay, you have softer catch light, so this is the effect that you get with bouncing flash. Now I did move the kicker light a little bit because I wanted to show you, if you like the kicker, you know, that you can get very even light. And if I had a larger umbrella, it would have gotten much more coverage. I can put a reflector on the bottom to bounce some light in there. But that's not what I was really trying to do. I was just trying to show you the differences. Then when I did the shoot-through umbrella, what happened was that I was able to direct the light a little bit more. A little bit more control of the light. It acted more as a softbox. The catch lights are also more pronounced, as you can see here. Okay, so I did the same thing with the kicker light, and then I moved the kicker light. So you see, very even, very nice. So the nice thing about umbrellas is they're very easy to use. I mean, all you have to do, you can put it at 45 degrees, you can put it, if you put it more frontal, then you're gonna get more even light. And you have a big enough spread that you have a lot of room for error. So you don't have to worry so much where the light is gonna hit. And you're gonna get a nicely exposed subject, okay, with this type of umbrella. You have larger umbrella, smaller umbrella, so that's a shoot-through umbrella. Now I'm gonna show you my favorite modifier. My favorite modifier is the softbox. As a matter of fact, for Speedlight, I only have this one, but now that I have made a big investment in strobe lights, I have almost every type of softbox. I have a big octa, which is basically the shape of an octa, and I have regular size softboxes like this one, 28 by 28. I have the ones that are called strip lights, which are the thin ones on each side. I have grids. So I mean, I really love softboxes, and it's a matter of taste. I like that I can control the direction. But one thing, the reason why I was actually showing this picture was this particular softbox. What they recommend is that you bounce the flash, so you get more concentration of all the light. I've done it both ways, but when I do it frontal, I don't like to do it with one flash, so that's why I bought this Lastolite. I don't remember the exact name, but you can, if you go to the Lastolite website, just the one that is the Joe McNally one is the really expensive one. This is not the expensive one. This is the one that doesn't move, and it's good enough for me because the flashes move. But anyway, I usually put one flash on this side, one flash on the other side, and then I may even put the the dome so that it softens the light. So we're kind of running a little bit out of time, so I'm going to go a little quicker. So kicker light. And basically what I did is, because I want to show you the beauty of the softbox is that you can move it everywhere, and you get all sorts of different effects, and you have a lot of control of the light. So this was my first shot with the kicker. The other thing is I really like the catch lights of the softbox. I like it a lot. So that was my first shot. Then I wanted more contrast and more bright. This was, so I kept moving it. Now you can see here from the catch light, you can see how I moved it much farther. You can almost not see it here, so it was almost in my shoulder. Then I moved it even, I think here I moved it back a little bit so I could get it more evenly lit. Then I was playing a little bit with the hair light so that it wouldn't hit so much in the ear. And then this was kind of my final shot that I was happier with in terms of what I was looking for. It's more evenly lit. Actually, I think maybe I like this one a little better. But anyway, sometimes you can even do some very creative things, like you can put one soft light on this side and one soft light on that side, and they're going right after each other. And then here you have shadows. So I mean, if you really want interesting shots where you have shadows, and you can create what they call the Rembrandt light, which is the triangle here, or split light. I mean, then soft boxes I think is the way to go. They're relatively inexpensive. I mean, this softbox, this Apollo softbox, I think the whole kit is like $140, which includes the stand and the bracket. I do not recommend the bracket that comes with this. The bracket is actually, well, if you're using the flex, do not use that bracket, because when you tighten it, then this breaks. Okay, you can break this. If you're using it with a flash, you see the flash has a metal hot shoe, then it doesn't matter, then that's fine. And then the umbrellas are very inexpensive. You can buy them anywhere. So and there are many different types of umbrella. So thank you very much, and I hope you